Have you ever found yourself in a conversation that feels more like a monologue? A relationship where your feelings seem to be perpetually on trial, where you are constantly second-guessing your own reality? You might feel a persistent, quiet hum of confusion, a sense of emotional exhaustion that you can't quite name. It's like walking through a house you thought was your home, but all the walls have been replaced with mirrors. At first, it's dazzling, intoxicating. You see yourself reflected everywhere, seemingly adored. But slowly, you notice the reflections are not quite right. They're distorted. In some, you look smaller, more flawed than you remember. In others, your partner appears impossibly grand, perfect, the shining center of it all. You are in their hall of mirrors, an elaborate construction of the ego, designed not for connection, but for control. And learning to see the mirrors for what they are, just glass and illusionists, the first step to finding your way out. Today, we are going to walk through this hall together, armed with the insights of psychology, to examine the 12 signature reflections that reveal you are not with a partner, but with a performer who has cast you as a supporting character in their one-person show. The first, and perhaps most defining reflection, is the overwhelming realization that in their mind, they are the main character. This isn't just a personality quirk. It's the clinical bedrock of narcissism. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, or DSM-5, lists a grandiose sense of self-importance as the very first diagnostic criterion for narcissistic personality disorder. They genuinely believe they are more special, more important, and more deserving than anyone else. This belief fuels their conversational style. A talk with them is not a dialogue. It is a performance. They can speak for hours, weaving intricate tales of their triumphs and challenges, without once pausing to ask a simple, "And how about you?" If you share a story, it is quickly intercepted, not to connect, but to compete. That reminds me of this one time It always begins. This isn't a shared dialogue, it's a monologue with a captive audience. The French philosopher Albert Camus wrote, "To be happy, we must not be too concerned with others." A narcissist takes this to a pathological extreme. Their concern for others extends only so far as it serves them. Your joy is a threat unless it's about them. Your sorrow is a burden unless they can make it about their own tragic past. The painful truth, as expert Dr. Ramani Durvasula frequently states, is that a core deficit in narcissism is a lack of genuine curiosity about another person's inner world. They're not interested in you. They're searching for what psychologists call narcissistic supply: your attention, your admiration, your applause. As Thomas Erikson writes, "A narcissist isn't interested in you only in their own reflection in your eyes. Your role is to be a flawless mirror, and the moment you try to show your own image, you cease to be useful." Now, how did you get into this hall of mirrors? You were ushered through a grand entrance, a phase so intoxicating it felt like a dream. This is the second reflection, the whirlwind romance, a tactic known as love bombing. This isn't just passion, it's a strategic campaign. On day 1, the compliments are a flood. On day 2, you are their destiny. By day 3, they are planning your future. This phase is the very definition of too good to be true, because it is. Psychologically, love bombing is the idealization phase of the classic narcissistic cycle. Idealize, devalue, discard. They put you on a pedestal so high that the eventual fall is devastating. They aren't falling in love with you. They are falling in love with the idea of a perfect partner who will finally see their perfection. They are creating what attachment theory would call a frantic, insecure attachment, bypassing the slow, steady process of building genuine trust. As the writer Anais Nin once said, "We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are." A narcissist sees you not for who you are, but as who they need you to be. They don't know your flaws or your fears, so what are they in love with? They are in love with the power that comes from sweeping you off your feet. a power that creates an intense emotional dependency. It establishes a golden age you will spend the rest of the relationship desperately trying to reclaim, always believing its disappearance was your fault. They are not falling for you. They are grooming you for your role inside their hall of mirrors. As you venture deeper, you'll notice mirrors that reflect a distorted past. This is the third sign, the way they narrate their history with ex-partners. A narcissist's past is a graveyard of crazy exes and betrayals, with them as the sole, blameless survivor. This isn't just storytelling. It's a psychological defense mechanism called externalization of blame. Individuals with strong narcissistic traits often possess an external locus of control, meaning they believe their lives are controlled by outside forces and other people, rather than their own choices. They don't learn from the past, they curate it. As Erikson notes in The One Who Is Always Right and Never Apologizes, they cherry-pick stories that absolve them of responsibility. A healthy person reflects on a failed relationship with nuance, acknowledging their own part. The narcissist paints a black and white mural where they are pure and the ex is evil. Listen closely, for as the saying goes, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. You are listening to a preview of your own future role. One day, you will be the crazy ex in their perpetually revised script of victimhood. They aren't sharing wounds to build intimacy. They are auditioning for the role of the tragic hero and handing you the script that proves their innocence. If this idea of seeing through the performance is already sparking a new perspective for you, take a moment to subscribe to Mind Decode Explained. We journey through these intricate landscapes of the mind together, seeking clarity and healing, one story at a time. Now, look around you in this hall. Notice the profound emptiness. The fourth reflection is the narcissist's lack of true, intimate friendships. They may have fans, admirers, and useful contacts, but they rarely have deep reciprocal friendships. This is because genuine connection is built on a foundation of vulnerability and empathy, two qualities a narcissist views as weaknesses. Their relationships are transactional, not relational. They operate on a cost-benefit analysis. What can this person do for me? Psychologist Dr. Craig Malkin, in his book Rethinking Narcissism, discusses the concept of egoism, referring to people who are so afraid of seeming narcissistic that they have no voice of their own. The narcissist is the opposite. Their voice is the only one they can hear. This makes mutual give and take friendships impossible. As Erikson frames it, a narcissist doesn't build lasting relationships. They only build a stage for themselves. Their inability to maintain real friendships isn't a sign of high standards. It's a direct result of their inability to engage in the authentic, messy, and beautiful work of true human connection. They are the sole, lonely inhabitant of their hall of mirrors. Let's talk about the climate inside this hall. Wildly unpredictable. This is the fifth and deeply destabilizing sign, the hot and cold behavior. One day, you are the center of their universe. The next, you are met with a wall of silence. This is not a personality quirk. It is a highly effective manipulation strategy rooted in intermittent reinforcement. B.F. Skinner's research in the 1950s showed that rewards given at unpredictable intervals are the most powerful way to condition behavior. It's the principle that makes slot machines so addictive. The narcissist's affection is the jackpot. By making it unpredictable, they trigger a dopamine chase in your brain. You become addicted to the highs and work frantically during the lows to get the next fix. You become a detective, searching for the mistake you made that caused their withdrawal. The truth is, their mood isn't a reflection of their feelings. It's a lever of control. Their withdrawal is a calculated move to destabilize you and reinforce their power. The relief you feel when they return with warmth is so intense it creates a trauma bond, a powerful, addictive attachment born of shared distress. As Dr. Ramani often says, this emotional roller coaster is a feature, not a bug, of the narcissistic relationship. While their emotional world is chaotic, Their external world is meticulously curated. The sixth sign is their obsessive attention to image. They're in a perpetual pageant, but it's not for you. They are not just taking care of themselves, they are building a brand. This obsession with appearance, reputation, and status is a desperate attempt to build a self from the outside in, because the inside feels terrifyingly empty. This is the very definition of the Hall of Mirrors. The surfaces must be polished and perfect, because the reflections are all they have. The psychoanalyst Heinz Kohut described this as a fragile sense of self that relies on external sources, or self-objects, to feel whole. You are not a partner. You are a self-object, an accessory meant to enhance their reflection. They are living for the admiration of an audience, not for the genuine reality of a shared connection. This is a crucial distinction from healthy self-esteem. True self-esteem is an internal sense of worth. Narcissistic self-worth is a performance for external validation. As the writer and philosopher Iris Murdoch put it, we live in a fantasy world, a world of illusion. The great task in life is to find reality. For the narcissist, the illusion is preferable. To maintain control, they will strategically introduce other characters. This brings us to the seventh sign. They use jealousy as a tool. The tactic is called triangulation. By constantly mentioning admiring coworkers or exes who are supposedly still in love with them, they bring a third person into the dynamic to create insecurity and competition. This is not innocent sharing, it's a calculated move to keep you off balance. A confident partner is a threat, an insecure one is easier to control. By manufacturing jealousy, they test your devotion and create drama that puts them right back in the center of the action. It forces you to fight for your position, distracting you from the real problem, the manipulator themselves. As Erikson discusses in Jealousy as a Weapon, for a narcissist, your jealousy is not a sign of a problem. It is proof of their desirability and your devotion. They use the specter of other people to control your emotions, ensuring you are too busy fighting for their affection to notice the bars of the cage being built around you. What happens when you confront them? You will be met with the eighth sign, their inability to offer a genuine apology. An apology from a narcissist is a strategic retreat, not an act of contrition. The classic non-apology, "I'm sorry you feel that way," is a masterclass in blame shifting. It subtly implies the problem isn't their behavior, but your reaction to it. Another variant is, "I'm sorry, but you," which is not an apology at all, but a justification. Psychologically, their fragile ego cannot withstand the narcissistic injury of admitting fault. To apologize sincerely would be to admit imperfection, shattering the grandiose reflection they have so carefully constructed. So for them, an apology is a pragmatic tool to end a conflict. They are not sorry for what they did. They are sorry that you are upset, because your being upset is an inconvenient stain on their perfect mirror. As the author Brené Brown says, the big barrier to apologizing is our ego. For a narcissist, that barrier is a fortress. This need for perfection fuels an insatiable hunger. This is the ninth sign, their desperate need for narcissistic supply. This is the psychological term for the attention, admiration, and validation they require to prop up their ego. Their self-worth is a bucket with a hole in it, and you are expected to pour in praise constantly. They don't just enjoy compliments, they require them to function. Without a steady supply, they experience a narcissistic collapse, often resulting in rage or a depressive-like state where they lash out, blaming you for their feelings of inadequacy. Dr. Craig Malkin distinguishes this from healthy ambition by noting that narcissistic individuals don't just enjoy being special, they feel they must be special to feel okay. You are not a person to them in these moments. You are a utility, a source. The truth isn't that they need you to be their mirror, reflecting their manufactured brilliance back at them. Perhaps the most insidious tool in the narcissist's arsenal is the one that happens inside your own mind. This is the 10th sign, gaslighting. The term originates from the 1938 play Gaslight in which a husband manipulates his wife into thinking she's going insane by subtly dimming their gas-powered lights and denying it's happening. When a partner says, "You're being too sensitive," or "That never happened," they are doing the same thing, systematically dismantling your reality to make you doubt your sanity. The goal of gaslighting is to induce cognitive dissonance, an uncomfortable state where your perception, "the lights are dimming," conflicts with their assertion, "No, they're not." To resolve this dissonance, you may begin to abandon your own perception in favor of theirs. The most dangerous sign is when you find yourself apologizing for your own feelings. The truth is, you are being psychologically reprogrammed to be silent. Gaslighting is the ultimate form of control because it turns you against your greatest ally, your own mind, making you completely dependent on their version of reality. To keep you in this disorienting hall, they will dangle the promise of a beautiful future. This is the 11th sign. Future faking. They paint vivid pictures of the life you'll have, the marriage, the house, the children, but their actions never match their words. These promises are designed to keep you invested, living on the hope of one day. Psychologically, this preys on our natural human inclination to hope and to believe in the potential of a relationship. They are selling you a fantasy because they know you are sustained by it, but they have no intention of delivering. The present dynamic serves them perfectly. The promises are simply the painted door at the far end of the hall of mirrors. It looks like an exit, but if you try to open it, you'll find it's just another flat, reflective surface, an illusion designed to keep you from searching for a real way out. Finally, we arrive at the coldest part of the hall, the part that reveals the fundamental emptiness at the center. This is the 12th sign, a profound lack of empathy. When you are in pain, they see it as an annoyance. Neurological studies have provided a chilling insight into this. Research using fMRI scans has shown that individuals with high narcissistic traits exhibit reduced activity in the anterior insula, a brain region critical for empathy, when shown images of others in emotional distress. It's not just that they don't care, they may be neurologically ill-equipped to feel what you feel. As Erikson states, the lack of empathy is not a technical fault, it's a default setting. The renowned researcher on empathy, Brené Brown, defines empathy as feeling with people. A narcissist cannot feel with you. They can only assess how your feelings are impacting them. Your pain is an inconvenience because it disrupts their performance. This emotional void is the final chilling confirmation that you are not in a partnership. You are alone in a hall of mirrors with a reflection that can only see itself. So, where does that leave you, standing in this disorienting, exhausting, and lonely place? If you have listened to these 12 reflections and felt a chilling sense of recognition, if you constantly feel you are at fault, always the one apologizing, or simply exhausted despite being in a relationship that is supposed to be nurturing, then you must ask yourself the most important question: am I in love? Or am I being controlled? The journey out of the hall of mirrors does not begin with trying to fix the mirrors. It begins with one radical act: trusting your own perception again. It begins with believing your own reality over the grand, distorted illusions they project. You are not too sensitive. You are not crazy. You are a human being responding appropriately to a dysfunctional environment. And if you need more reasons to find your way out, to understand the mechanics of this dynamic more deeply, perhaps it's time to continue your reading with Thomas Erikson's book, Surrounded by Narcissists. Remember, as the psychotherapist and author Sheldon Kopp wisely wrote, you can't make a deal with a madman. The goal is not to win their game. The goal is to stop playing. The goal is to walk out of the hall, feel the real sun on your face, and learn to love the person you see in your own, true, undistorted reflection.